Hello and welcome to this video on breadboard. So it's not a board where you have breads, even if it is what you might think, but this is when you're working with microcontrollers, working with single board computers, and you want to prototype things quickly, you want to use a breadboard instead of soldering, because when you're doing soldering, then it's a permanent solution and it's very hard to, you could unsolder it, but you will destroy your components basically. So here using the breadboard, you can think of it as Lego. You can put in different types of components and then you can try it out and see that it works, and then you can take it off and then you can try another prototyping. And then when you're satisfied with one and you want to have a permanent solution, you just take these components out and you solder them in together. So what is a breadboard? I will show you a breadboard now. So this is a breadboard. And I have my Raspberry Pi inside of it. I will show you how it works, the anatomy of it inside. So let's move on to the slides now. So here I'm in the slides, and you can see this is an image generated with Nano Banana 2 with some nice bread here. You can see happy bread, and they are inside us. They are on the chopping board that are breadboard. That is quite fun and interesting way to visualize it, but it doesn't have anything to do with bread, as I said. So use breadboard to connect electrical components without soldering. So that is the idea. So take a look into the breadboard here. So what is a breadboard and what is it used for? And here you can see these are breadboards. You have a breadboard here. This is an image from Wikipedia. This is also an image from Wikipedia. And here you can see a breadboard with reusable prototyping. So it's a reusable prototyping board. You can see there's a lot of electrical components here, connected together in different ways. So you can see here we have jumper wires. We have here a lot of different components, resistors, etc. And so what you want to do is you want to build and test electrical circuits without soldering. So that is the idea. And it's easy to modify. So you can easily just remove one and then you can put in other components. You can put them in different places, etc. But how does this work? So we need to know the main idea of how breadboard works. So if you take a look into the anatomy of breadboard, you'll understand it. So this is an image from Wikipedia. It's very nice. Here you can see a breadboard. You can see the letters A, B, C, D, E. And then there's a gap in between. And then there's F, G, H, I, J. And then there's plus, minus. And here you have plus, minus. So these are, you can see here, there are grid of holes. So we have holes here if you take a look very clearly, or it's a little bit hard to see maybe, but there's holes. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up until 30, but it depends on the size of the breadboard. There's different sizes. So usually come in small, medium, and large size. And here you can see this is the internal structure of the breadboard. So if you open up your breadboard, this is how it looks like inside. But I won't open up my breadboard, so don't do that. But you should know that this is the structure inside. And what does this mean? There are metal strips that shows the connections. So here you can see for example, row 1 here, A, B, C, D, E, they are connected together. You can see this is the metal strip corresponding to this metal strip here. And then there's a gap in between. And then there's metal strip for 1, F, G, H, I, J. So that means if you connect some part in 1A, for example, then it will be connected to all other parts. And also, similarly, you have here the power rails, which is the columns for plus and minus here. You can see it's the metal strip that goes the whole way here. So usually you connect it to ground, one of them to ground. So each row is connected A to E, F to J with a central gap, as I said before. And plus, minus, they are the power rails. So that means if I connect, for example, minus to my ground, that means the whole column is minus. That means that whenever you're connecting something else to that column, that will be connected to ground. And I will show you how this will look like in a real project. So let's start with an example here. Example of a wired breadboard. So this is a Wokwi simulation. So I will show you how to work with Wokwi in next video. So Wokwi is a very nice simulator for different microcontrollers and SBUs. So we will use it for our Raspberry Pi Pico. And here we have chosen a breadboard here, and we have chosen the Pico. And here you can see this one is actually, this is ground. If you have your Pico, you can see it's actually a small square here. And then you connect it to, when you connect it to minus, that means this whole power rail becomes ground. That means I can connect this wire here to this LED and connect it to this resistor, which connects to a GPIO, so general purpose input and output. And let's see, this is how it looks like in reality. So in real life, we have connected it, and my jumper wire is a little bit too long, so it's a little bit hard to see it in detail, but basically this is same as this connection here. You can see there's a resistor here. And if you take a look into the color coding, it's very hard to see this one, but you can take a look into this color coding here, and it's 330 ohms. And here you have the LED and a red LED, and then there's jumper wire connected here to the ground basically, and here is connected to the ground, to the minus. Okay. And I will teach you a little bit more in details how to connect these different things up, but in the later videos. So, but the components we use here is a breadboard. So this is the breadboard, and this is the breadboard in real life. And we have a Pico. This is the Pico. This is the Pico. We have resistor, 330 ohms, 330 ohms, 330 ohms. You can also choose to have larger than 330 ohms, and what that will mean is that the LED will light up dimmer, but don't use smaller than 330 ohms, as that may damage your LED or your GPIO pin. So that is not very good to do. So make sure to have a larger one. And also I'll say about the LED soon. But here we also use male-to-male jumper wires. So these are the jumper wires. This is the jumper wire, and we have an LED of a color red. For example, you could have another color, it doesn't matter. But one important thing about the LED, you can see here, note the longer leg. So LED here, you can see there's a longer leg and there's a shorter leg. The longer leg is called an anode, and it's plus. And then the shorter leg is called cathode, and it's minus. So the shorter leg needs to be connected to the ground. So as you can see here, this is the shorter leg. It's the cathode, it's connected to ground. And here you have the longer leg, it's connected here. In the real LED, you don't need to have a wire here, but for the simulation, I needed it because it was a little bit short in the simulation. But in the real example, I have connected it directly to this pin here, and you have the resistor here. So resistor, it doesn't matter which side, but the LED, it matters because it will only get current flowing through one side. So you need to have here the plus comes from the GPIO, and then it goes into the plus here, the longer leg, the anode, and then it goes to the minus, so the cathode, and then it goes to the ground. So minus is connected to ground. So that is how it works, okay? So we'll go back more into the different electrical components later on, but this is the theory section of the breadboard basically, and we will go more into connecting this in the simulation in the next video. So we'll go into Wokwi and do this simulation. I'll show you how to do that. And we will create some simple code to light the LED up. And also we will do this in real life. So we will connect our Pico to this and this breadboard to connect the different components. You will see it as a building Lego basically. And this will be really fun. So see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.